No worries. Um, I've got a busy day. My son's coming here at lunchtime, which is still quite a way off. And being a bachelor, I've got to get out and actually do some washing today while we've got a day that's not raining. But I'll definitely try and catch. I'm only on here for a quick one, really. So I hope everyone's good. We got 8:24 a.m. Another nice cold day in Adelaide. Although I say cold, but I guess some of you guys around the world would probably laugh at what we call cold. But yep, just another day in paradise. We'll be gonna have to get StreamYard working, and want to do a more serious show um, about a website that's out there. I'm gonna address that, but that's not for now. Uh, we'll talk about that at a later time. Personally, just want to stay away from the drama at the moment. I kind of don't understand a lot of it. Yeah, well, a friend of mine, Andy, told me it was pretty easy. I will have to look into it. I guess I'm a creature of habit. Been using Hangout since I started at the beginning of this year, and I guess it's one of those things you know I use it because I know it, but definitely has some flaws. Hey Warren, how you doing, mate? Hope you're feeling better. Sorry, I didn't get on last night, mate. I fell asleep and I actually quite enjoyed the fact that I got back onto sleeping normal hours. But got up at 6 a.m., had coffee, had something to eat. Uh, got a bit of a day ahead of me. Our son's popping up at lunchtime. We're going to go do some grocery shopping. He wants me to make him an Irish stew for tonight. Yeah, the barbecue was really nice, Warren, even though it was on my own. But a nice couple of nice pieces of steak, a couple of shazliks. For those who don't know shazliks, it's just pieces of beef on a stick with capsicum or what you call bell peppers and onion on there. Shared a bit of that with the dog. Um, yeah, it was really good, Warren. Enjoyed it. But yeah, no worries. We'll try to make it over there, Lauren. This won't be a real long stream. It's pretty well just to say hello to everybody. Make use of the fact that this is the last day that Hangouts is running. It's pretty cool, isn't it, Warren? That I mean, YouTube's all right to watch your documentaries and clips here and there, but the live streaming is fantastic in that you can get on there, talk to people from all over the world. I really like this platform. I like that you can bring people on your panel and chat to them. Yeah, I've heard of the Streamlab. I'm not sure what Streamlab's like. I'm thinking it might be close to what StreamYard is like. But they're the only other two that I know of, StreamYard and Streamlab. Warren, yeah, Warren, yeah, I like that idea too. And I think for me, the fact that you can bring people on the panel and chat to them as well. Yeah, everyone's talking about StreamYard at the moment, and that's for sure. I'll try and get some streams in at the moment. I can see things getting a little bit busier for me soon, and probably won't be able to get on as often, or if at all, for a little while. But just enjoying it while I can. Like I said today, I got to get out there and wash some clothes, and hopefully, just want to give it another hour or so, make sure it's not going to rain, so I can hang my clothes up and like I said, sun's coming up around. He said 12 or 1, so with him, you never know. But want to go get myself a nice. Hey, how you doing, Captain Spaulding? The pooch, she's laying down here next to me. Kicked her out when I got up this morning and came back, had something to eat. I kicked her outside for a while so she'd have a drink and do whatever she has to, and then went and checked on her, and yep, there she was, sitting at the door waiting to come back inside. Spoiled girl. It's actually the reason that stopped me from travelling now. Otherwise, I'd be, I think, travelling quite a bit at the moment if it wasn't for her. Yep, you dog. So many places to go and see. A couple of things I want to wipe off my bucket list. I'd love to get into Southeast Asia there. I want to get into Peru and check out that Machu Picchu. I want to get back to the States again. I really need to do the East Coast, visit a couple of places there. Really do want to see Gettysburg. I said, to me, that is really, I mean, I guess for Americans more so, hallowed ground. I want to see Mount Rushmore. Would even be cool to actually go and see Niagara Falls as well, seeing as I've seen the Grand Canyon. But the Grand Canyon is one of those places I could go back to. It was probably one of the most impressive things you could ever see. Photos and video don't do it justice. Yeah, well, Captain, mine was. See, I've been there. I stayed there for a total of 6 months, over 2 visits, and that was before 9/11 and after 9/11. How you doing, Magic? See, you got a car show coming up. Andy was telling me there's a car show up in Barmera soon, Magic. Oh, no, 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 Warren. I had a really great experience, but I guess mainly because I spent a lot of time in the Midwest and, man, the people were so hospitable. They were good to me. I love the food. Um, I mean, there are some crazies over there, and I did come across that as well. Uh, but yeah, I enjoyed the time over there. Did have one guy threaten to shoot me because I was standing on the footpath in front of his house. Probably, hey Heidi, how you doing? Probably pushed my luck when just stood there and wasn't about to move for the nutcase. I then made it worse because my mate got in his Dodge Ram and pulled out a rifle and I thought, here we go, we're going to have a shootout at the OK Corral. It was a crazy incident, but that was just the one-off, really. So, thankfully, but I enjoyed my time in the US and I'd happily go back and see it all again. And I'd like to catch up with a lot of guys. I'd like to catch up with Gunner, although he's, I think, right over on the East Coast there. Like to hit a ice hockey game with Popeye. Like to catch up with Lost. Lost is 1-2. We really we've even talked about going to Peru and meeting up there to see Machu Picchu. Ah, Warren, yeah, that wouldn't have been nice. Yeah. And Warren, you could talk to 100 people, and you'd get 100 different experiences from it. Uh, my experience was pretty good. I, especially the people in the Midwest are much friendlier, slower lifestyle. Um, in Los Angeles, it was way different. Everybody's busy, everyone's running around. You say hello, they look at you like you're crazy, or they jump 3 feet back thinking you're about to mug them. But you do get used to that and learn to be a little bit more careful about who you say hello to over there. So I hope everyone's having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be. Baltimore, yeah, I don't know, DD. Can't really think of any reason to hit Baltimore at all. As I said, I want to hit the and see the USS Constitution. I want to see Gettysburg. I want to see Mount Rushmore and things like that. Niagara. I want to see New York. Ah, here we go, guys. Unbelievable. I just got a another email from BK. How much weed do you need to sell to make the trip like that? Well, since I haven't done that for fucking years and years, BK, um, I couldn't tell you. And since I've always worked, BK, and made really good money, growing weed's never been something I've had to do to travel or do anything, to be honest with you. But it's nice to know you're listening, BK, and I'm sure you'll take your sound bites, you little child. Um, Not sure if you guys heard the. Here, let me just read you guys the. Let's see if I can find it here. The email he sent me the other day. Let's have a look. Here we go. Let's see. You twat. That's the title of it. MJ, his comments insulting me. You don't delete it. You're a big, ugly, fat bastard twat. Keep sucking your troll's dick. You are scumbag. Like I said, the grammar's not real good there, BK, but I guess I can forgive you considering it's not your first language. But I'm not actually fat. And you can ask Andy that. I'm actually in pretty good shape. You know, I used to, Warren, but trust me, he will turn on you like a rabid dog. He doesn't bother him to lie about you. Um, you can, well, I've seen him on another channel where a really nice guy just asked him not to answer questions when they were doing a quiz, and he turned on that guy and, yeah, pretty well told him to get fucked. But that's BK for you. So you can like him all you want, Warren. That's, yeah, I'm not going to choose anyone's friends for them. But hang around long enough, you'll see what he's like. Well, MJ, I can understand that. You've got into him before. Hey, how you doing, Big Kev? I've put up with him calling me names. I've even had him say shit about my girlfriend. So he's not the nicest of people, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh, I thought I'd just got another email from him, but no, it's someone else. Yeah, just to the person who sent me an email, I can't agree more with you. Hey, Jedi, how you doing? No, look, Warren, you can like who you want, mate. I mean, that's fine. I don't judge people on who they're friends with. I just had enough of him telling everybody that I was blocking my old friends on here, which was bullshit. And it's kind of funny, he is complaining about being blocked and timed out on here. Well, actually, I don't think I'd ever done that to him. Uh, Actually, Nathan Higanti had said he'd actually timed out BK a few times. So you think what you want, but if Nathan's timing you out, you're obviously saying shit you shouldn't be saying on my channel for Nathan to do that. And the one time he was blocked by someone on here, I unblocked him. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I agree, Kev. Eventually their personalities will come out. How bizarre. I remember that. Over here, DD, I think it was a New Zealand band, did a remake of that song, but instead of calling it How Bizarre, it was called Stole My Car. It's kind of a parody of the song. So if you imagine them singing How Bizarre, this guy was singing Stole My Car. Oh, it's been a long time. I don't even know if I can remember the film clip, DD. Yeah, well, it was kind of funny. Someone timed out a BK on my channel, and he went straight to Barry's channel, who he said he doesn't follow anymore, and cried to him, calling me a twat. Um, Quite nice of him. I remember the song Jedi. I can't remember who who sang it. But the "Stole My Car" was quite funny. The parody. MJ, you've said some ugly things from time to time. You're no angel, that's for sure, MJ. How is baby doing? I don't know whose baby is, Kev. Yeah, I love my driving too, Jedi. No, I don't think I've ever seen you say that, MJ. But again, like I said, you're no angel. Look, MJ, I just see you as a shit stirrer. Other people are going to see it differently. No idea. No idea. I haven't seen or heard of him, Kev. These days, it's looking like he's most vocal when he's got some backup behind him. Well, Leader X, he wouldn't be half wrong. Definitely is. Likes to cry, and like I said, that's the second. That's the second email I've got from BK. It's quite nice of him. Easily butthurt, I guess, but again, I don't care what he says about me, but make it the truth. I don't know. The only one I can remember from the Boomtown Rats was "I Don't Like Mondays," Jedi. I was never a Boomtown Rats fan, but I do remember "I Don't Like Mondays." MG shit stirrer. Oh god, I'm sure that it's going to get a bit of airtime now, MJ. Here I am, wanting to come here, have a bit of a chat with you guys. Stay away from all this shit. Oh man, who knows what he's doing, Kev? Oh, it was madness. I like driving in my car. But I guess this will start a few more rumours. But all good. Definitely not about to get into a shit fight and have things go round and round in circles. Our House, I remember that. That was a great song. Remember seeing they played it too on the Young Ones, I reckon. And Madness appeared on the Young Ones. I don't know if you guys remember the Young Ones, but they had some good bands on there. I remember had Madness, Motorhead was on there as well. It was hilarious, that series. One Step Beyond, yep. Remember that one? What was the genre? What was that genre called? Madness. I know it was a specific genre, that music. It was a total classic, Jedi. It definitely was. It was. Dee Dee, look up the parody of that song called Stole My Car. Yeah, Dexy's Midnight Runners, yep, they appeared on there too, Leader X, that's right. Yeah, Jedi, I reckon that genre of music had a specific name. I can't think what it was called. One Step Beyond Our House. I called it the Nutty Sound. Ska music. Okay. Yeah, I remember it had a specific name. How you doing, Terry? I just got a couple of nice emails from a friend of yours, Terry. Uh, um, I'm kind of feel like I should send them back to him with corrected grammar, but I don't want to push the envelope and start a war of words going and go back and forth with someone like BK. But I've seen how he can turn on people pretty quickly. I've seen him turn on you, Terry, and that was. I mean, you're probably one of the most inoffensive guys out there, straight down the line. So I, yeah, I thought that was pretty bad. Leader X, I do remember like that genre being called ska. I'm not sure if they refer to themselves as a ska band or not, but Terry's actually been in a band. He's actually recorded and made a record. He's pretty up to date with the English music scene, so I'll bow to Terry's knowledge. Yeah, you're right, Terry. He's not worth the effort. It, and I don't want it to go round and round in circles. You know, the only reason I ever addressed him at all was because he was saying some shit that was just full on lies. So, he'd still be welcome here if it wasn't the fact that he wanted to lie about shit. Now, I did give him the opportunity to say, look, apologise and for the lies, um, and I'd unblock him. Um, but instead, I got an email, uh, which is fine. The Proclaimers, I remember them. Yeah, I'd walk 500 miles. I've never heard that leader. I've heard Scar, and I reckon I've heard them referred to as Scar before. Now that I think of it, I've never heard the two tone. I've never heard of that before. The things you learn. Yeah, I would walk 500 miles, and well, you could say 1,000 because he said he'd walk 500 more. So I guess by the time he finished walking, he would have done 1,000 miles. Okay, yeah, I've never heard the two-tone line being used before. Although Scar, I have. Oh, Ray, I hope I'm gone long before I fucking get to that point. No, I've never seen Train Spotting. Okay, Two Tone came out of Scar. Okay, well there you go, guys. Um, Again, Terry's knowledge of the UK music scene makes him the resident expert here. Oh, kind of just keeping an eye on this weather. We've got a bit of cloud, overcast. Maybe I might get out of washing my clothes today, but it is something I should be doing. Got a wash basket there full of clothes to wash. Said son's coming up at lunchtime. Do some grocery shopping and make him an Irish stew. I don't think his mother cooks for him anymore, so he enjoys a home cooked meal now and again. And I enjoy the time he comes around, and I don't mind cooking, and I like cooking for him. And the kid can eat, I tell you that. Actually, what I should do, so he was up. I thought he might be asleep, but then I just remembered I'd seen him earlier on another stream. Let's see if Nathan is around. Let's throw him the link and see what happens. Ian Jury and the Blockheads, yeah, hit me with your rhythm stick. I reckon Andy has sung that one actually. Yeah. I know a lot of people used to always talk about Train Spotting. I'm not sure why I'd never seen it. It's one of those movies I never actually got to sit down and watch. I know there's a Train Spotting 2 out, but yeah, never got to sit down and watch that one. Son was over last night talking about going to see some movie. Can't remember what it was called. He did look at me strange when I asked him if he wanted to go see the new Lion King. I just had that look that said, "Come on, Dad, really?" You guys are a little bit quiet in the chat. You all gone nuts there for a while. Gonna have to try out this StreamYard, I think. This is the last day that Hangouts are supposedly working. Kind of trying to watch the stream and watch TV at the same time at the moment. They got Inside West Coast Customs, and I don't mind watching some of the things. I have to admit, I don't like some of the things they do, but then again, they've put out some nice cars. I do like. I don't know if you guys have seen Counting Cars. I think it's Counting Cars. The guy they call the Count. See him now and again on that Porn Stars show. He puts out some really nice cars. but I do like the old school muscle cars, and they do a lot of those. Where I think West Coast Customs tend to be out there. They a little bit out there, a bit surreal with their cars. How you doing, 47? Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Just keeping an eye on the weather here. It does look overcast and it looks like it could rain, so it looks like I'll at least get out of doing my washing today. But we'll still have to get out and do some grocery shopping to make some dinner for my son tonight. Actually, yeah, it's good weather for an Irish stew, so. Was it hit me with your rhythm stick? It's good to be a lunatic. Geez, Ian Jury and the Blockers, that's going back now. Geez, 80s. I'm pretty sure early 80s was it for Ian Jury? Was it Ian Jury that also did You'll Always Find Him in the Kitchen at Party Times? Yeah, I haven't seen either, Jedi. I will have to check out Trainspotting one day. Hey, Lefty, how you doing? Oh, Lefty, while I'm here, just hang on, Lefty. I've been promising you this for a while. Some of the links I got to guitar vloggers. I'll see if I can. Bloody sub to so many bloody channels going through trying to find them and see if I can get a link here for you of one of them. Geez. Okay, here's one. Okay. Right, Lefty, here's a link to one. This is Will's Easy Guitar. That's not a bad one. And go through his if you want, and just trying to see if I can find another one for you. If you want to have a look, if you're still messing around with the guitar at all. Damn, I've got so many bloody channels in here. It's ridiculous. Trying to find. Oh my God. Damn. I'm trying to find the ones that'll have the little hints in that for you. Sorry guys, just going through here. We've got so many I think I'll have to there's so much shit to look through here, Lefty. Sorry, buddy. As they come through, I'll I'll try and bookmark them. And no, Jedi's not a lunatic. No, you're not Jedi. Maybe get if upset you, you might become one. No worries, Lefty. Guitar's one of those things. You got to be on it all the time. I think I said to you, just learn some basic chords first off. I mean, you'd be surprised too how many songs are really based off of 3 or 4 chords. And then I guess the other thing is if you want to pick some notes, you want to learn the minor and major pentatonic scale. But all that stuff you can just Google it and come across it pretty easily. Oh, what the hell? Jedi, I'm just watching TV and an advert come up. What the fuck? This Thursday, which is tomorrow, on this channel, Transporter. Is that? Oh, that's different. That's not Train Spotting. A different movie altogether. I was thinking, Jesus, that's the one that Jedi's just talking about. But no, different movie. I was thinking, what the fuck? Fast Fingers. Okay. I think the coordination will help you more than the fast fingers. And you want fast Lefty? Go have a look at Buckethead. You might want to watch Buckethead before you claim to have fast fingers. Or Paul Gilbert. When you got guys playing nearly 19 notes per second, that's what you would call fast. Jedi, it sounds like he's not wanting to say. I want to see where my forefathers defeated the French in the 18th century. Yeah, I agree, Lefty. It is insanely fast, that's for sure. Definitely. Just give us a sec, guys. I'm just going to go grab a drink from the fridge. Sorry, guys. Just had to grab myself something to drink. Hey, how you doing, Ken? It definitely is a quiet day today. Yeah, I know of him, Ken, but you know, I mean, I guess you're always going to have guys up there like Clapton, Jeff Beck, uh, Jimmy Page. Um, Probably one of the cleanest, most talented from the old school. Throw Jimi Hendrix in there, but would have to be Deep Purple's guitarist. Um, I've just had a dementia moment. Richie Blackmore. Uh, Richie Blackmore was fantastic. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. Jedi, definitely. Um, but there's been so many. I mean, these days I really do enjoy listening to Buckethead. If you guys see when he played with Guns N' Roses and some of the solos he did, uh, but if you get a chance, check out Buckethead Soothsayer. Brilliant, very hauntingly beautiful music. A little bit of everything in there. Hey DR, how you doing? But I mean, there's so many guitarists you could name really. Um, I mean, you can probably go back further to some of the you know early black blues players. Robert Johnson, and then you got guys like BB King and old Chuck Berry. Uh, but I've always tended to, I guess three guitarists that probably that I would listen to a lot back in the '70s would have been Richie Blackmore, Jimmy Page, and Tommy Iommi from Black Sabbath. Each very different to the other. Um, I mean, Jeff Beck was amazing. Uh, I mean, these days you got some of these shredders like Paul Gilbert, um, Sean somebody. I can't think of his name. Was an amazing shredder. This Buckethead is another one. I mean, you had Eddie Van Halen come out and blow everyone away with their debut Van Halen album. But then you had some, you know, acoustic virtuosos, and I guess it comes down to the music you will listen to, what sort of music you liked. Um, I know people talk about Slash from Guns N' Roses, but I don't see him being any different to anything the guys were doing in the '70s. Uh, hey Larry, how you doing, buddy? Like I said though, when it comes down to guitars, there's always going to be those legends out there, uh, but it is subjective. Everyone's going to have their favorite depending on what type of music they listen to. I mean, guitarist from Pink Floyd, Gilmore. Um, he had a great feel to his music, and the guitar work to "Wish You Were Here" is to me still, one of those that songs I could just listen to and you know, kind of just lose myself in it. Yeah, well, that's it. Ken, everyone has their own genre of music that they like listening to. You know, and where it goes when we look at those 60s and 70s bands, they were all influenced by blues guitarists and blues music. Mm. And then you got some guys like Jimmy Page, who at one stage was a studio musician. I don't know how many guys know the band The Kinks. Um, Jimmy Page actually played guitar on the first of their first couple of albums, um, because Ray Davies' brother still wasn't up to scratch. So it was Jimmy Page that played guitar on it. So Dave Davies, it was Ray Dave. But again, it's subjective. But there is some brilliant guitarists out there. Uh, I watched a guy the other day do a vlog on who he thought were the most iconic rock singers. He listed off 20 names, and the one name that was not on his list that to me was kind of strange, and but obviously not for him. But when you talk iconic rock, um, he didn't have Ian Gillan in there, and to me, Ian Gillan was an iconic rock singer. Paul Rodgers from Bad Company was another one that didn't make the list, and again, he had an iconic voice. I think Ian Gillan really was the guy that showed everyone what you could do with a bit of screaming thrown in there. But like I said, it is subjective. We're all going to have different opinions, and we'll come down to the kind of music you like. Yeah, never been a Willie Nelson fan. I don't mind a bit of Johnny Cash, but yeah, never was into Willie Nelson. But again, everyone's different. I was heavily influenced by Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, that early '70s period. Nah, I've never been right into Eminem either. DD. Do I like the Motor City Madman? Who is that? Lefty? Do like got right into his music in the '70s. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Really enjoyed a lot of Bob Seger songs. I'm not sure who you mean by the Motor City Madman. Oh, Ted Nugent. Yeah, like Ted Nugent. Cat Scratch Fever. Flesh and Blood. Didn't mind Nugent at all. Was that who you were talking about, Larry? Bob Seger? Because I really did get into Bob Seger. Yeah, he is DD very much. Ted Nugent. Okay, yep. Well, that's right, Jedi. I mean, like I said, I can listen to that riff in "Wish You Were Here" and just lose myself in that. I love it. Um, but there's just so much. For me, the '60s, '70s, even '80s to an extent, that music for me was the pinnacle. I think probably hit its peak in the '70s for me. But then, like I said, I was a big Sabbath, Purple, Led Zeppelin fan. We followed a lot of those guys. I followed Richie Blackmore into Rainbow, Ian Gillan into the Ian Gillan band. Um, and Black Sabbath I enjoyed even once Ozzy left and they replaced him with Dio. I really enjoyed Dio singing. Another guy that didn't make the top 20 of iconic rock singers, which I found very strange as too. And look, Nugent, great music. Like I said, very conservative. I know the man loves his guns and all the rest of it. Captain Spaulding Seal. I really liked Dio. I thought uh, that first album he did with Black Sabbath back in 1980, I believe it was, Heaven and Hell. I thought Heaven and Hell was a classic album for me. I mean, I loved all the Sabbath albums before with Ozzy, but Heaven and Hell with Dio I thought was brilliant. And then you had what the Allman Brothers, Rick Wakeman. Yeah, a lot of people don't realise Jedi Prince was a great musician. He could play quite a few different instruments. Quite a talent. Oh, look, Captain, don't get me wrong. I'm an Aussie fan, uh, and his time with Sabbath was fucking unreal. But I just enjoyed that Heaven and Hell album that Dio did with him, and I liked Dio's vocals. But I'd followed Dio through with Richie Blackmore in Rainbow, and I was a big Rainbow fan. I loved Rainbow. I mean, I liked the Steve Miller band too. Steve Miller was he put out some great music. Yeah. But I'm sure we all are going to have you know, our own taste, and well, Ken, don't feel alone because you're definitely not. I would say it's about everyone on here would be blocked. I think. Yeah, Randy Rhodes. Like I said, a lot of people put Jimmy Page up there at the top, and I don't blame him. I mean, Page was just unbelievable, but I'd throw up equal to him. I would have said Richie Blackmore. Um, Probably very underrated when people talk of guitarists, and it's amazing if you listen to a lot of other guitarists, they'll tell you what an impact Richie Blackmore had on him, and had come out with some great riffs, always very clean. Um, Jimmy was fantastic, but not always clean with his playing. Whereas I found Richie Blackmore was always very clean. Uh, just a bit sad that it got a period there from maybe late 80s and even early 80s, maybe to the 90s and through, where people thought faster was better. I don't necessarily think faster was better. I think it came down to the riffs. Yeah, I've heard that, DR. Um, ELO was, I enjoyed ELO. They had some good songs too. See from Gilmore, definitely top five. I guess what you when it comes to his riffs, Captain, and his feel for the playing, definitely. Doors a great band. Um, Great music. I'm not sure any one musician stood out in the band. Maybe Ray Manzarek. Um, it would be hard, Captain, to do a top five though. I guess it again it's very subjective and come down to what you like. But I think Gilmore's bending of strings and that was and just he had a feel. The good guitarists aren't always the most technical, but they have a feel for playing. Uh, Peter Frampton was another one who Peter Frampton had a real feel for playing. Yeah, Ray Manzarek was again probably. I'm trying to think. It's hard to find someone that really stuck out in the Doors, but if you had to pick somebody, it would be Ray Manzarek. So, pretty subjective subject when you start to talk who was the best, and um, I did think about doing some top 10 lists or whatever of bands and musicians, and the problem is it just gets so subjective because everyone likes all types of music, and I guess Jedi. Uh, I guess what you can look at is the impact he had in the time that he was around. Um, Alcohol definitely got the better of him, and smoking. If you listen to his early albums, to say when he recorded "L.A. Woman" and listen to the way the guy's voice had changed in that period of time, he really did burn out. It's a real shame, but I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there who are really moved by the music of the Doors, and his uh, his lyrics were very haunting. Great frontman, yeah, definitely great frontman. I did read the book "No One Gets Out Here Alive," which was I guess, the unofficial autobiography of Jim Morrison, and kind of sad to hear like a lot of concerts he couldn't even get up on stage to sing, and but he partied hard, he lived hard, and died early, which seemed to be a 70s thing, I guess. We lost so many that decade, lost so many great artists. You know, DD, I've heard this talked about so often, is how the hell in all those years didn't they lose anyone? I mean, they did lose one original member, but I believe he had been fired from the Stones before he actually passed away. But how those guys are still around today, yeah, it's unbelievable. Definitely an iconic band in their own right. But yeah, how Keith Richards is still around, I'll never know. I mean, that guy's got 9 lives like a cat. Yeah, yeah, Charlie Watts. Yeah, you know, doesn't get mentioned much when they talk about great drummers, but he's been there for a long time. Kept a magnificent time. Had some decent beats. And feels, but kept it basic, kept it simple, uh, and he did his job as a drummer. I mean, I guess a favourite Stone song for me is going to always probably be "No Sympathy for the Devil." I love that song. But then, the Stones had so many iconic songs. "Get Off My Cloud," "Little Red Rooster." Um, the list goes on with the Stones. Mainly their early stuff, which is really good. Yeah, yeah, I agree, Jedi. It'd be hard even to do a top 10, really would. I mean, you're going to always have those that are hardcore Jimi Hendrix fans, those who are hardcore Jimmy Page, um, guitarist who doesn't get mentioned enough, who, is Jeff Beck. Brilliant guitarist, but again, you kind of had to like his style of music. But here's a little bit of trivia. The Yardbirds, and I think you guys have probably all heard of the Yardbirds before, probably had the three best guitarists of that era in that band at one stage or another, and that was Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, and Jeff Beck. Three great guitarists of that era, and they all played for the Yardbirds. In fact, when Page formed Led Zeppelin, they wanted Led Zeppelin to be known as the New Yardbirds, which Jimmy Page wanted no part of. Steely Dan, I don't know if you know this, DD. Steely Dan the whole band was made up of studio musicians. You'd probably struggle to find a band that was made up of so many talented guys. Yeah, Queen, Freddie Mercury, probably the first of what they were going to call the super groups, but I've heard that said before. Though to me, I think the Beatles were the original super group, followed by Led Zeppelin. Dear, there's so many. I mean, a favorite drummer for me. I mean, I had a couple back in the day when I was learning to play drums. Um, I really liked Ian Pace from Deep Purple. His snare work was incredibly fast. Cosy Powell. Um, and Cosy Powell, I don't know how many guys know, actually did a drum song that made a top 10. That was Dance with the Devil. It is on YouTube if you ever want to hear it. Um, but there were so many. I mean, you I guess all time greats for me. Other than my favourites, you're going to get John Bonham, who was just, oh man, the guy was a beast. Keith Moon from The Who was another animal. There's been some crazy drummers. Tommy Aldridge, I don't know if you guys have heard Tommy Aldridge. Yeah, Mick Fleetwood, um, again, did what he had to do. Was he just I'm not sure he'd make my list, but definitely great at what he did, and it's hard to not like Fleetwood Mac. Oh, Jesus, DD. Oh, God. He had to go, and yeah, Tusk. Yep, that was great, wasn't it? but it really was so many different drummers. Is one of those things. It's a guy, Joey, who played, well, I can't think of the name of the band, but the guy used to have the drum stage go up on its side, then upside down. And, yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody is a classic. You're always going to have classics. I mean, Led Zeppelin, I guess Stairway to Heaven, although those guys are kind of tired of hearing that. One of my favourite Led Zeppelin songs was When the Levee Breaks, and was because of the drumming and the echo they got on his drums at that time. But Bonham was one of those. I heard. I'm just trying. Vinny Appice was it Carmine Appice? One of those guys talking about John Bonham and saying they'd seen and how when they were watching him and listening to him, how he would stomp on his bass drum. His kick drum, mate, was not lift and pivot from the ankle. It was lift that whole foot up and just stomp on it. So I guess you'll find most top 10 lists or whatever drummers, you're always going to find John Bonham as the number one on any of those lists. Yeah. Pet Sounds. I mean, that was the pinnacle for them. Unfortunately for them, when they were going album for album with the Beatles at the time, and then the Beatles brought out Sgt. Pepper's, and that was the end. I think that's when Wilson lost the plot and was like, I can't beat this, I can't, and started to go a little bit nutty. But I guess that's pushed both of those bands in that 60s period, and they really were going album for album. And I guess the genius of Lennon and McCartney and Harrison just blew him away in the end. But any top 10 album list, you're going to find Pet Sounds up there. I think the Rolling Stones' #1 album of all time, we were talking about this the other day, is Sgt. Pepper's. I think it is followed by Pet Sounds. But it's a great period for music, that 60s and 70s. Just unfortunate that period too. We lost some of the great musicians. Who knows where Hendrix would have taken things. Also, I mean, not a standout guitarist or anything, but definitely with all his early stuff, Mark Bolan put out some great albums. I enjoyed a lot of T-Rex stuff. Oh, guys, what have I got? 9:37. So what I've been on, maybe just over an hour. Yep. Definitely gonna have a busy day cooking for my son. And he was going to come up here and get me off my ass to go and do things. I may even, hey Ed, how you doing, mate? I may even get off my ass a bit sooner and go get some stuff before he even gets here, and that way maybe I'll even be able to get him to help me peel some vegetables. And but he wants his Irish stew, so I will do that for him today. I did want to cheat and do a lasagna, just go and buy a lasagna and then heat it up in the oven. which he loves as well, but he wants his stew. Okay, cool. David Bowie, yeah. The Ziggy Stardust days, Jedi. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, David Bowie was. He is another legend. Yeah, Captain. We he's busy with his college, and he lives with my ex, so don't get to see him as often as I'd like. But he does pop in a bit, and she doesn't cook for him, so and even when I was at home, I used to do most of the cooking anyway. He misses a lot of the home cooking. I put her war paint on. Jesus Ed. Well, good luck to your trip, mate. Hope you have a safe one, mate. Look after yourself. I think she's already done that, Lefty. Ed, you like the quiet life, don't you, mate? But I don't blame you. You got a good life out there where you are, so I don't blame you, buddy. You got a good life there, and like I said, one of the few that can really talk about having a real life in the Philippines. Yeah, now you got a good another 20, 30 years, I reckon. You'll get a hoagie. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, from the sounds of it, Ed, you don't do too bad. Your wife makes an effort to cook the things that you like, and so you don't have too much to complain about, I guess. But do yourself a favour, um, buy some cold meats, mate. Pack them in some ice, and bring them back with you. And yeah, it sounds like it, Ed. Sounds like it, mate. Oh, 15 thumbs down as BK and his mates have got their troll accounts out and about. They're pretty good, I tell you. Kind of disappointed when I don't see all those thumbs downs, actually. And I wonder how many sound bites get taken today. It's amazing that some people have, yeah, it's you got to kind of wonder about these people. They got nothing better to do, and these guys will try and pass themselves off as good guys. Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Lefty. Yeah, what gets me is if I've got a problem with anyone, I'll usually, I'm pretty well in their face, and I'll be out and face off with them, and then get over it. Uh, some of these guys are unable to do that. They're like going somewhere else and talking about you, and it's I don't get it, really don't. But I guess that's why I am who I am, and they are who they are. And fucking glad I'm not like them. Be a sad day, that's for sure. 15 is not too bad. I've seen it go. What was it the other day? Up to 28, I think, lefty. Yeah, Big Kev's got a good attitude, but people jump on him as well. Has Barber come on yet and say he got his sad SSD back yet? No, I haven't heard. Haven't heard nothing yet. Nothing at all. Yeah. Devoured on, you're right. Oh, just got 16, so maybe BK's got an extra account sitting there somewhere. Yeah, I'm not sure what he does get and what he doesn't get. He did tell me a figure one time. Um, Again, that's another mystery on whether he really lost it or not. I find it hard to believe he just lost it from a phone. Oh, 17. BK's creating new accounts. Good on you, BK. Yeah, he told me a different figure. It was actually under that Devouton. I won't tell you exactly what he said, but it was under that. No worries, Jedi. Take care, buddy. Well, Mary Lefty, I haven't done too badly. I mean, I usually average around the 300, and I've hit at times 4, 5, 6. Had one show it hit over 800. So haven't done too badly. So whatever they're doing, it's not really working. I'm not going to complain about those sort of numbers for someone that's only got 200 plus bloody subs, and was kind of surprised that they ever got over 50. To be honest with you, so I don't think I'm doing too bad for a channel that's just here to talk shit. I've got no idea how they do things in America to Valton. Yeah, lefty, I haven't done too badly. I can't complain. To be honest with you, I never expected to get anywhere near the numbers that I've got at times. I don't really, you can't say I put any content out there because I don't. All I'm doing is live streams and chatting to you guys. I might have to catch up. I don't know if Andy's around at the moment. Might have to get in touch with him and see what he's up to. I do know my son said, I think Dad put some extra curry in it. It's cold weather. So, bit of extra curry in the Irish stew today. Lefty, actually, one of them has quietly been in here and seen the shit. He actually gets quite a laugh from some of these guys. Uh, and they're not ex-bikers. Some of them are still club members, Lefty. Um, but one of them has been quietly in the background watching. He's just to be honest with you, they're not really into this shit. They're too busy out there partying on, mate, and having a good time still. Or in the case of some of them, in and out of court. Um, but yeah, I'm not so sure. When you say liven things up, they're not the kind of guys who are out there to put them. They're not really going to put themselves out there. The last thing they want to do is bring any attention to themselves. But yeah, I've had one that's been in the chat, just listening and seeing what's going on and listening to the stream. So getting involved in this sort of shit is not not their thing. They're not interested in that. And I totally understand. A few years back, I wouldn't have been either, Lefty. But I've got a bit of time on my hands, and never sort of expected to be doing live streams myself, to be honest with you. Wayne's World party time. Yeah, I try. I keep in touch. I'm always asked to go out and run amok with them, but geez, I'm just not interested in getting myself in any trouble. Hey, how you doing, Gunner? Yeah, I'm not sure if Ed's still here. He's preparing himself or waiting for his wife to put on her war paint so that they're heading off to Cebu. He's got a trip to Cebu, staying there overnight, and then getting back out. Oh, yeah, YouTube's a decent platform. The problem is you do get a lot of shit. But that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of people, I guess. It's just a shame that some of them have to fucking act like children. I definitely know that there's quite a few people that behave quite differently if you're standing in front of them. But again, that's just the nature of the beast. I got to keep reminding myself I'm too old for a lot of this shit and should know better. Oh, guys, just chat fucking goes crazy 1 minute and quiet the next. Just loading up. Yeah, maybe they are, Lefty. I don't know what it is. Some are livening up, some are fucking bored, some have nothing, like bored and nothing better to do, and you got some out there who are just troublemakers. Like I said, I'm going to eventually do a stream real soon about a particular issue. I was speaking to someone last night about, and I want to address that. Oh, it is cheap entertainment, although he's stretching it sometimes to call it entertainment, Lefty. Oh, what am I got sent here now? Yeah, you do wonder. Oh, Jesus. Gonna. Oh, no, David. Okay. No worries. Well, David, there was two people given the link that day, which I mentioned, uh, and it was either one of those two that gave the link to GoGo. You did come on and said you didn't do it. I've got to take you at your word, which leaves Robbie Battle. Let's leave it at that. It's better to be left alone, Gunner. What's the point? Seriously. Wrong. Okay, wrong. A bit like when you told Andy that GoGo, when Andy went off at GoGo for dropping his stream or dropping people off his stream, you said GoGo wouldn't do things like that. That was wrong, because we know that GoGo does do that. But I'm over it, David. Well, maybe I will work it out one day. But, you know, you kind of got your back against the wall when you're trying to defend GoGo. Again, my opinion. And you're allowed yours. And let's face it, YouTube is really a place of smoke and mirrors. Definitely a place to remain anonymous and run amok. Again, I've been accused of trolling, but I don't think I've ever been on anyone's channel just to cause trouble or troll people. I only have the one account, which a lot of people can't say the same thing. I've had this name since day one, and that's that. And have no intentions of ever starting another account just to give people a hard time. Definitely don't go into people's channels just to give them a thumbs down either. But to each their own. Maybe they will, Lefty. Who knows? I'm not sure that you can actually do that. Don't see how they could. I'm sure there's something that would kick in privacy laws, or and even if you ask them to do that, I'm sure people can easily put up a photo of something else or someone else. That's just, like I said, with YouTube, it's the nature of the beast. I'm not sure you're going to change anything. I think personally they need to, they just need to police it a little bit better. Yeah, no idea, Lefty. Can't make comments on that. Don't know. Yeah, maybe gonna. Who knows? Again, I'm not so sure. There wouldn't be some sort of privacy laws that would, hey Steve, that would kick in, that would stop them from doing that. I just don't know. I think personally, they need to voice recognition again. Voice recognition doesn't put a face to somebody, Lefty. I just think they need to police channels a little bit more. Even if they just randomly went through people's channels and live streams and kept an eye on things. Who knows what will happen in the future? Winker here. Oh shit. Yeah, personally, I'd much rather just come here, have a chat, have a bit of a good time. Yeah. Just don't like this idea of this side, that side, and I fucking definitely don't agree with a lot of the shit that gets done. But I'm not going to be held responsible for what other people do. If I don't think what they're doing is right, I'll happy to tell them. But again, fucking, I'm not their keeper. And there's been some pretty shitty fucking things done, and to be honest with you, it's been done on both sides. And I guess once it started, it's escalated to the point where some shit that's being done is just it's putrid. And I've said that before. And but nothing I do or say is gonna change that. That's just the way it is. I can just kind of just keep going and do what I do, which obviously some people have issues with that too, and have issues with who I let on here, but let the good times roll. I hear you, Mark. Like I said, I will do a stream very soon addressing something that's been going on out there. Something I really stayed out of, didn't want no part of. fucking got some pretty sick shit's been going on, and some of these guys really need to take a good look at themselves and think, what am I achieving by doing this? Am I upsetting people? Yeah, probably. And then in another case, maybe some others just don't give a fuck. But you know, governments are now cracking down on some of this shit and the bullying and fucking accusations being made in social media. Uh, and there'll be a day come when people will be held responsible for the shit they say and do on here. I'm sure there's a few of those devoured on. I was saying to before you can have an account, Steve, you should, uh, they're talking about putting your real photo up there. I'm not sure they can do that, or whether that couldn't be falsified. Let me have a look at this weather out here. It's still cloudy. Looks like I'll be maybe waiting for another day to do any washing. Nah, Steve, a lot of people are not going to be interested in doing that, and I'm sure there'd be some privacy laws that might kick in to put a wheel in the spoke, so to speak. So I'm not sure they can do that. I'm sure there's ways people can get away from it anyway. So yeah, I haven't seen this. Might have to check it out. Devoured on. Oh, it's going now, so probably best to watch it when they put a replay up of it, I guess. Do know there is some other platforms appearing anyway, so I'm thinking the way things are going on YouTube, people may look for somewhere else to go. Australia has 8,000 islands plus. That's new to me, Mark. I had no idea. That's never heard that one before. I think you mentioned something like that on another stream. Um, but never heard that one. Oh, guys, getting a bit quiet. Still got 20 watching. 8,200 islands. All right, cool. Just debating. Then eventually have to get out there and go and buy myself a good cook pot, something non-stick, and go buy some groceries and ready to put this Irish stew on for the lad. Um, I'm not sure, Mark. I'm sure he's up by now, and who knows what he's doing at the moment. May call him up later and see what he's doing. Do need to. He was up here. Was it not yesterday? The day before. He was over here Monday. Yeah, Monday he was up here. He came over. Today isn't your birthday, okay? No worries, Mr. Smooth Bottom Esquire. What to do? Do I get off my ass now? Go do some shopping and probably want to maybe shower and shave and before getting out and doing some shopping. 1990 Volvo, I just clicked 400,000 kilometers. Jesus. Ah, jeez. Are you talking to me, Captain? Kind of semi-retired, I guess. I don't need to work. But it's crossed my mind lately that I wouldn't mind doing something because I just can't travel at the moment because of the dog, and kind of get fucking a little bit stir crazy at times. I can't visit mates during the day because they're usually working. And to be honest with you, wouldn't mind doing something Even if it was, even part-time, I guess, just to break up the days and the monotony. Get a book on origami. Oh, mate, I've got boxes of books. What I need to do is actually take my guitar into my guitar tech and can put some new strings on there and just have a look at the action and see if the truss rod needs adjusting. Uh, with the weather changes, cold and hot and that, sometimes the neck will move. So, yeah, dead right, Captain. You do. I mean, last year, till late last year, I was running um, probably 5Ks twice a week, jumping on my mountain bike. Uh, but haven't done any of that since then. Kind of got really lazy. But yeah, I think you're right. You, you stop doing things, you get too slack, and everything catches up with you, I think. And I noticed since haven't been doing a lot and spending so much time on streams and just sitting around smoking like crazy. So I might have to fucking just give them up altogether. It's just too easy to pick one up and light up all the time. See how it goes. Oh well, good on you, Mr. Smooth Bottom Esquire. Whatever floats your boat. Probably gone nearly 2 hours. Definitely feel like I need to shave and shower and get out. And I wouldn't mind getting some of the stuff done before my son actually gets here. And knowing what that kid's like, he said he'd be here about 12:01. So with him, that could mean 2 or 3 o'clock. So just never know with him. Being a 21-year-old lad, kind of try to remember back what I was like at that time. So I was out and gone, and last thing I was thinking about was catching up with my parents at the time. So I guess I'm kind of lucky that he does make an effort to spend some time with me. So I do appreciate any time I get with him. He's not a bad kid. Uh, he's gone to college and he does that off his own back, and he's learning to be a Microsoft network engineer. Yeah, well, we know he's not dead. Okay, I've got a good feeling that I'm talking to him right now. But yeah, you're dead right. You know, some people can't handle retirement. I think they look forward to it, but then when they actually start living that lifestyle, it's very easy to get bored. Um, and that's what I find. Get a little bored. Be nice to have something else to do. Oh, well, that's an unusual statement, Mark. I seriously want to get out and travel. That would definitely make things better for me. But like I said, I got the dog, and she's a pain in the ass. But fucking, I'm not going to get rid of her. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Captain. Even a few days a week would be fine. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. I definitely don't want to start another business. I mean, I was working 7 days a week. The kind of job I was doing just didn't allow for you to have your free weekends. And here we go. We got a troll, I believe. Why not just walk away from the drama? Okay. I don't walk away from anything. I do what I do because I enjoy doing it, and I'm not about let the drama or anyone force me to walk away from anything. And there's guys here know, done a couple of streams there where I just wanted to avoid it altogether, and did that, and actually was pretty good fun when we did. But I don't walk away from fuck all. It'd be a sad day when anyone forces me to walk away from anything. But nice to see the trolls. And yeah, 21 thumbs down. So definitely they're out and about. Yeah, Captain, I hear you, mate. Um, I mean, they're the guys who really need to take a good look at themselves. You know, both sides, not just one, because they're both as bad as each other, and it's kind of pathetic. Leave the iPhones at home. Well, Mark, I even if I was to go shopping or go visit somebody, for the most part, I'd leave the phone at home because if I'm out and about visiting, the last thing I want to do is be visiting friends and you know having to talk on the phone to someone else while I'm supposed to be visiting somebody. Uh, It's phones are these days with the smartphones. They're a big social killer, I think. No one wants to call and talk anymore. They anyway, all they do is text and put their little emojis in there, and I guess that's what the new generation have got to look forward to, a social life spent on a smartphone. It seems that they all got their faces buried in them all the time. But, yeah, exactly. Yeah, not just the local bus, the bus stops. Um, it's hard to go anywhere these days and not see someone with their face stuck in a phone. It's insane. But yeah, that's the generation now. Oh, guys, anyone want to anything to talk about, or before I decide to jump off here, go have a shave, shower, and go do some shopping? Yeah, Gunnar, that's the weird one. To me, you go to a restaurant to have a meal with people, even family. It's share a good meal and have some conversation. And it's kind of sad when you see everyone with their faces stuck in a phone. But it is what it is, I guess. People are definitely going to lose the art of conversation. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Gunnar. You're going to see that in most restaurants these days. It's kind of it's crazy. Remember, a mate of mine was saying he went on a date, took someone out to a restaurant, just them two together, and yeah, the person who's with just sat there with her face in the phone, and then at the end of it, they sort of parted ways, and she said, "Oh, well, I'll call you and catch up with you," and he walked off thinking, "Well, that's one phone call I'm not going to answer." And he obviously didn't appreciate it. I think he told me that she kept trying to call him and then sent him a text asking him what the hell was wrong. I think he did send a text back saying he didn't appreciate having to go out to dinner and look at someone across the table from him with their head in the phone. Jesus. You do see things like that. I know people do also set shit up, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, guys, if I know there's a few of you still there, but I might go shave, shower, fucking go do some shopping and get ready to put this Irish stew on for my lad. I will check the weather again, but it does look too overcast to be doing washing today. Yeah, yeah, Mark. Hear you, bud. Mm, it's pretty sad. But if that's all they got, and that's what they like doing, well then, all the power to them. Honestly, like I said, guys, guarantee that I'll only ever have this one account, that one name. Um, not about to go down that path of creating heaps of accounts and trolling people, and I just don't get it. Just, I got better things to do. And speaking of which, I'm sorry, guys. I may jump on again later, make the most of this last day of the hangouts. Uh, but definitely need to go take a shower and shave and uh, go do a bit of shopping and get ready to do some cooking for my lad. So thanks for joining me. It's always a pleasure, guys. Appreciate the company, uh, and we'll see you all real soon. So take care, have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.